recording the whole time?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? I asked you not to.
Because I just have it recorded. It doesn't mean I'm going to publish it.
Okay. All right.
Sheesh. Welcome back.
Well, sometimes you do.
Welcome back to the episode of the Briefcase of the Barn, a series of the Furiously Curious show where we talk about business, life, Christianity, and more. The Bible decided to come back again. Matt Keene is with us. I'm not sure how long he's sticking around. I hope for a long time. People love having you on. So.
Thanks, buddy.
Other people hate it, but whatever. That's why it's good.
Anyway.
So we'll start off with a clarification Matt wants to make.
Yeah.
About,
Let him make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you were, Matt.
It matters to me. Although you guys are belittling it, it matters to me.
I'm not belittling it.
Okay, well, Gary belittled it. So I went back. I didn't take your advice, and I looked at the very first podcast that you and I recorded. It was just me and you. And in that podcast, I'm talking about my old life and my testimony and stuff like that. And you asked me a question. You said, "What drugs did you sell?" And I just rhymed off 3 drugs: cocaine, weed, and acid. And I never thought about it. Then I went to sleep that night, and I got up at around 4:30 in the morning with this question on my mind: where did you sell cocaine? And I was like, I went through every place in my life that I could remember where I was on the blow, or I was at a party where it was there, or a bar, and I can't remember one instance where I actually sold it. So I need to clarify that because it's untrue. I didn't actually sell cocaine. Even though I've done my share of it, I didn't sell it. So it was wrong for me to say that. I thought it glamorized the old life too much. And there was a point where you asked me about the money that I was making. I think I should have hammered more that the money that I was spending wasn't mine. It was someone else's. Like, I was always in debt to someone, and the money that I spent, I often got in trouble for because I didn't pay it back. My life was a mess, right? Or then I'd try and gamble it back and go gambling and make the money back, which rarely helped anything. So I just want to put it out there that, can you link this to the old podcast or something? Like, put it in the comments or something like that so that people can see this new one?
Up, yeah.
Anyway, I don't want that old life to be glamorized. I don't want any kind of embellishment to be attached to my testimony for Jesus, right? So I know it's not a big deal for you. I wanted to clarify that.
If so, your conscience is good to clarify.
Yeah, for the sake of my conscience. Even though Gary totally made fun of it, right? So anyway, just want to put it out there.
What it reminds me of is embellishment, which is when I started my recovery journey. One of the biggest things that Dave Curry was teaching me is how much addicts in general lie to themselves and just lie about the reality.
I didn't do it intentionally. I didn't want to deceive people.
I'm not accusing you right now.
But I was an addict.
You were not 2 years ago when you recorded it.
No,
I'm just talking about that. I was, as I started analyzing and looking at my life more, I realized I was actually embellishing a lot in a lot of different places. I did that a ton, and it was something I really needed to take ownership of and repent from. And I think sometimes it can still get me.
Well, because your integrity is brought to question.
That's right. Yeah,
and I panicked. I was like, "Oh my goodness, what did I just say?" Anyway, I want to clarify that for anybody who has seen that podcast. Those points were important to me to fix up.
Yeah.
It's true, Gary. It mattered to me. Anyway, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
The podcast, by the way, is still down right now. I haven't put it back up yet.
Okay. So. You can put it back up now that I've said that.
All right.
Thank you.
How you doing, Gary?
Really good.
Thanks for the coffees.
Why don't you want to record today, Gary? You said, were you tired? Or?
It's raining an inch every 3 hours. I'm having PTSD back to the 2021 flood. I was going to post a bunch of videos. I have a bunch of raw, random videos, right, from the day of the flood and the day our farm flooded and hauling cows out. Yeah, there was 5 feet of water on the farm.
Did you lose cows?
We didn't, but our neighbors did, unfortunately. It's interesting, the lake bottom. So our farm is part of the Sumas Lake where we farm in Abbotsford. And our farm is kind of right on the edge of the lake bottom. But of course, if you've never seen the lake come back, if you've never seen the water there, you don't understand where the deep parts are. You just drive through Sumas Flats and you think it's all pretty level. And it is pretty level. But there's about an 8-foot height variation. So my cousin's farm, he had 16,000 hogs drown. They're at the bottom.
All drowned.
Drown. Awful. 8 feet deep, right? The water was 9 feet deep, like right to the top of the roof pretty much in the barn. But you went over like, a mile down the road and you're at like another farm, which is a mile from our farm, and they're 4 or 5 feet deep, right? So the cows are standing there in the water 4 feet deep until they were put down. It was just really, really awful.
Oh, wow.
But interestingly enough, I was, I'm filled with fear and paranoia. So I took my cows out first. I was hauling my cows out. There's video of me moving my cows out at 8:30 in the morning. It's dry, it's sunny, it's a beautiful day. 1 block over, the guy's got water pouring in his barn, and they're not pulling the cows out.
You were being precautionary.
Yet. Well, and that's just not even my nature. I'm always a day late and a dollar short. But I mean, it was just kind of interesting where I called my friend Jeremy Goosen and I said, hey, Jeremy, like, what do you think I should do? And he's like, well, you look like an idiot anyway, so you might as well look like an idiot today and take your cows out early. And worst case scenario, you got to go pick them back up again and bring them home. And I mean, that was a real blessing. So, and then once we were pulling all mine out, it kind of created this chain. And there was, how people are very helpful in times of crisis. You would have experienced it with the Salvation Army. Yeah.
Actually, we got involved in the floods. Not with you.
I was at the Salvation Army one night with people that brought stuff. Yeah. So
it's funny. I was just telling someone this morning. I went out for coffee. Got breakfast with Mike Feenstra, and I had to pick him up, so he was driving in my Tesla. People always give me crap for my electric cars, but during those floods,
they should, because they're crap.
During those floods, the
government knows
no gas was getting into Chilliwack because the highway was shut on both sides, and so all the gas stations were running dry. There was still power, so I was driving around in my car, and I was like, "Get one back on them."
They're just so pretentious, eh?
Yeah, pretty pretentious. I have electric
vehicles. I mean, I'm not dissing people who drive electric vehicles.
Or the guy
who made one.
Or the guy who made one.
Yeah. Or the guy who made them. I just think...
You're not an Elon fan?
I'm not a fan of business people. I'm a fan of, like, Macho Man Randy Savage. Rest in peace.
Who's Randy Savage?
What? What?
Randy Savage.
The wrestler, WWF, not WWE. The WWF.
Is that female? WWE female? Or what is it?
No. World Wrestling Federation. 80s, 90s.
Dude, I'm not a
Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan.
You're worried
do you know who Hulk Hogan is?
I know Hulk.
Okay,
so you're worried about doing people what you think you're doing blow. Trust me, you lost a lot more respect just acknowledging that you're a fan of WWF.
No,
that's embarrassing.
He's okay. Look him up.
The only
probably best wrestler of all time.
It's all fake.
It's acting.
Whatever. Those guys.
Please go back to glamorizing your drug life and flee from talking about Randy Savage and the WWF.
It's wrestling.
On the East Coast.
Can't believe you
the
guys.
Newfies.
Yeah, that's right. No. Did you see wrestling yesterday?
Did you watch that growing up in your house?
Yeah. It was fun.
I do remember. I grew up with no TV, but there
was I keep forgetting that.
You
stuff,
forget
right?
that. I would say 70% of our. I don't even know
we
who
had
our
like
listeners are, but
2 channels.
Okay, well, the bulk of our listener base grew up watching very little TV in the 80s and the 90s, and maybe before that, depending on the age bracket. But anyways, we grew up with no TV, and I remember going to my friend's house from school who had a TV and seeing wrestling, and I was traumatized. Like, they were smashed. I didn't realize it was fake. I was pretty naive, right? Grew up in Rosedale, and they're smashing each other with chairs, and I'm like, man, this is intense.
Like when you get a chance after this, like look up some famous quotes by Randy Savage. It was like his hilarious, just hilarious, and the way he dressed, hilarious.
Okay, we're gonna get to some show notes. Gary, you put in a comment that says anyone who wants to share anything negative should put their name behind it. Gossip is wrong. Anonymous gossip is really not cool.
Why do you need to know who says it?
I just feel like I was just kind of convicted. We were watching our freedom session last week was session 12.
Yeah.
And it's your less obvious offenses.
Yeah.
And just convicting for me because I've gossiped a lot in my life. And gossip is just sharing negative stuff. And it's fascinating how people prefer negative information. It's human nature. Like people, that's why the news is the way the news is, because people just sit in front of the box getting indoctrinated by negative information. Like it's not that there's the odd positive feel good stories just so they can't get labeled as that, but the bulk of sharing is pretty negative. And I feel like if you can't put your name behind something, don't say it.
Fair enough.
If you can't have a dialogue, if you have, like, obviously we'll take the anonymous feedback and criticism. I don't care. Like, I'm not affected in any way. It's also fascinating how with the feedback with this show is that, and I don't know, and you know, if you were a leader in COVID, you were saying you were nailing it if you were getting skewered from both sides. But
right.
you know, in this show, it's like, you know, some people say, hey, we're way too easy on this group. The next person says you should be more critical. Like, I just find it fascinating.
It's just easier to dismiss somebody's comment if their name is not by it. That's how I look at it. Like,
That's
if I
true.
see a negative comment and there's no signature there, I'm like, well, who cares? They don't believe in it enough to stand behind it, and I don't believe it enough to be bothered by it. That's right. Like,
No, that's fair.
yeah.
And I guess on the other side of it, it's like when it comes to church staff, I just feel like I can't see any benefit. I can't see how it's helpful in any way to be negative or critical, like really critical. They're against of
Are
other
you guys
churches.
serious?
I think it's
Well,
really
no, but it's
dangerous.
mostly Kyle. Kyle's mostly critical of church. Like, you're
No, I'm saying even the listener feedback. People are like, oh, some people are like, oh, you should, you know, you guys are so critical of that group.
Well,
That's
let me
awful.
tell you-
Next person's like, oh, you should be way harsher.
Yeah, but you don't handle compliments well anyway. Like, you just don't handle it. Like, I told you the other day, Gary, you're a great father and husband. Like, my goodness, stop being so hard on yourself. Crickets.
Yeah, but you
No.
could have said anything to me. You could have asked me to save your life. and it
He's
would have been
terrible.
crickets. You would have been-
Gary hates any positive reinforcement. Like, you're too down on yourself.
No,
And
I have a pretty healthy view of myself, Matt.
well, I think you're a swell guy, buddy.
Thanks, Matt.
Look
I
at
wish
this.
I could say the same about you.
Look how awkward he is.
I'm not that awkward.
Look at all this growth.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, we got a mailbag feedback here.
Are we going to talk about Bill C9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Hey guys, if you enjoy that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.